on clearing that up.
That's on.
No.
Let's see. I think we're still having audio issues.
Yeah, we're coming through that.
Hold on. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Wasn't happening during testing. Give us 1 minute. Okay. How's the audio? How's the audio? Still an echo?
Yep.
Let's see. Give us 1 minute. We're trying to cancel out the echo. Don't know why that is happening. Can't cancel it out. This is on mute. This is on mute.
Both of them.
Both of them are on mute.
So I'm surprised we're even being heard.
But we are. And in grand fashion, it is happening. It is still happening. I got it. Okay, we still have an echo based on my text message here. Bear with us. Bear with us. We're coming. How's that?
Nope.
Still an echo?
Yeah, still coming through here, which...
Okay. We are trying to mitigate the echo. Give us 1 minute.
Here.
We're just going to go live and we'll come up with...
Yes.
Okay, we're paying. Thank you so much for not disengaging. So we're just going to go ahead with the one setup, and I will bring into camera view what Coach Darren is going to be recapping for 2023 that we have gone over. And so we'll go back and start over with our...
All right, so you want to start from the top?
We'll start from the top.
All right, and we'll try to run through this. So there you go.
So anyway, as I was saying, thank you for those who have been journeying along with us for the last 2 years.
Yes.
I believe it is that we have actually been talking about health and wellness. And if you were with us before when we were shut down in the pandemic, we have been bringing, awareness, doing empowerment and educational sessions throughout the pandemic. So we started to incorporate the health and wellness component over the last 2 years so that we could help encourage a community to start on their health and wellness journey. So Coach, if you want to talk about...
Yeah, so here we were again, those are the microgreens, which we did a whole session on microgreens before. And as I mentioned, this one looks a little bare, and that's only because I was kind of experimenting with it. But microgreens you can grow pretty much in just about anything. You can grow them in soil. What we have here are cocoa, they call them cocoa.
The cocoa hair mat?
Yes, in just a plastic tray. Well, again, you can grow them almost anything. All right.
And this, I think, is wheatgrass.
Yes, it's wheatgrass.
This is wheatgrass.
So basically, you harvest it by just taking some scissors and just cutting it, and then using it, either throwing it in your smoothie or throwing it in your salad, or whatever. And just to recap, remember, microgreens tend to be up to 40 times more nutritious than their adult version of the vegetable. So microgreen is just a process that, when you grow something, it goes through sprout and then, through the microgreening into the full form of the vegetable. Well, so over here, is there a question?
Can you lift a little higher? Yes, we can. How's that? Can you see that? This is the wheatgrass. Let me bring it into view for you. There you go. This is the wheatgrass. It's in a regular takeout container. Like we said, it's not expensive. You can do this at very low cost. This is the cocoa mat. Sorry, Coach.
Okay.
But since we only have one camera, this is the cocoa mat that we grow it in. Put your seeds on that. And we already went over how you bloom your cocoa mat in previous videos.
Yes.
So anyway, this is the wheatgrass. This is the result after a week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, forgive us if we don't go into the details. We're just kind of recapping, again, to bring it back into your awareness, which you will see here. Yeah, I'll look that.
Okay.
Link to it.
Yes.
Again, this is our little greenhouse. All right.
I have to bring it closer to the camera.
Right. And this is again also microgreens growing in just in a container. And this was really it's a greenhouse, but okay, it's a greenhouse that wasn't really meant for growing, but we basically converted it into a little miniature greenhouse. All right. So again, just microgreens.
So I will actually, Coach, just go ahead and talk, and I will hand you whatever you want to.
So and again,
I'll step out of front.
Microgreen seeds are really inexpensive. Now, and again, it's just something really great to do if you have children, something to do with children to help engage them in the whole growing process. Okay, so we're also, what we talked about are, what you see here. All right, now, those are sprouts, which is another way you can grow something indoors, which is also very nutritious. These happen to be lentil sprouts, which you can grow, and I'm going to show you. These are grown slightly differently than microgreens, but again, indoors, inexpensive. This was actually a small bowl from about a cup of lentils, which actually produced a huge bag of lentils. So again, add it to your smoothies, or you can add it to your salads or whatever you want. You can just season them and eat them, as they are. They're crunchy. So the texture can kind of replace something like, popcorn.
Yep, exactly. So we'll get to your comments in 1 second. I'm just going to slide over. Coach.
Okay, all right. The other thing we talked about, that we got to habit of, what you see in these containers, I'm not sure if you can really see that, but is saving.
Hold it down a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah, that one's the glare.
Yeah.
But anyway, these are just seeds. So you want to get into the habit of saving your seeds from your produce. Here in this cup is just seeds from bell peppers. And here, these were grape seeds?
Those are grape seeds.
Grape seeds.
And I'm going to gift those to one of my brothers who wants to grow a grapevine next year. So we start now, remember, so that there can be a next. So he's going to get grape seeds so that he can grow his grapevine for 2024.
All right. And what we have here, all right. Now, again, apologize if you can't really see, but these,
Coach, go ahead and talk.
Okay. Coach Mitchell, you might actually be, this is yours.
Let's turn it around a little bit so that everyone can see. These are collard green stems and the base of the collard greens from our Christmas dinner. And it has a multi-purpose use. This is how we upcycle and really try to get to zero waste. So the top here is the actual base stalk of the collard green bunch. And what I'm going to do is sit this in a little bit of water until it roots. And if you look here, I've cut off the edge just to trim off some of the dead piece, but I've kept the basic stalk of the collard green. And I'm going to sit this in a little bit of water just above the base here so that it can root. And it'll take about a week or two to grow some strong, sturdy roots. And what you see here on the second tier are just stems from the collards from this particular base. This is going to be used for stock, vegetable stock, because we do a lot of vegetable soup in the wintertime, and this will help lend a lot of flavor to the soup. And here, for these stalks, here we're going to just add these to the compost pile so that when we get ready to plant in the spring, we'll have some nice fertile soil.
So again, that's all part of this zero waste strategy.
Now, I'm just trying to get into your power of now here, Coach.
Okay. And what you see here, these are just, skin from an orange. These are orange peels. We talked about these before, about using the orange peel or the peels from actually just about all your produce. Like for the vegetables, we use for vegetable stock, but with your fruit, you can use that to produce, multiple things. One, you could use it to create tea by just simply boiling, by boiling this, and I'll bring a pineapple in. Those are two favorites of ours, is making pineapple tea and orange tea. You can even mix them together, make an orange pineapple tea. But it's also, again, a way of utilizing all of your produce. You can, maybe take the orange and or the pineapple, add some cinnamon sticks, maybe some cloves. Again, mix it, season it however you like, and then produce your own tea. Tea can then be consumed, warm or cold.
Yep. And Annie, hi, thanks for joining. Yes, the stems within a week will start to show roots, and we do use the collard green stems also for our vegetable broth. So yes. And I'm sorry, Coach. I'm sorry. Just so you know that the broth itself, you can use that again for your noodles. You can use it as a stock for baking, sauteing. After you saute your vegetables, if you want to create like a noodle bowl, you can use that vegetable broth for your noodle bowl as well.
And you might remember we covered this in one of our recent sessions. Again, we actually had larger pumpkins, and we basically took out the pumpkin seeds, and we talked about how many seeds came in a pumpkin. And then we just, took the seeds and then baked them, seasoned them and baked them, and talked about the health benefits of the seeds. So again, just like we do with all the other, fruits, we did with a pumpkin. So technically a pumpkin is really a fruit because it has seeds. So again, and then we use the flesh or the insides of the pumpkin to use later.
Also made pumpkin pie.
Yes, we made pumpkin pie, and then the residuals went in the compost. So again, zero waste strategy. And here, again, is also one of our favorite. It's the pineapple. Now, you might have to bring that pineapple. So here,
I'm coming.
This is yours.
Okay. Yeah, pineapple harvesting is my favorite for 2023. I've created a whole pineapple plantation, and Coach Darren is showing you one of my very first pineapple plants. If you come a little bit closer and to your left, Coach. Now, this pineapple plant is my baby. This is my first pineapple plant success so far as growth is concerned. And it started with probably a smaller cone than this right here that I'm holding up. So again, you just really twist off this part of the pineapple and then peel the first 5 to 6 layers until you see the root. Sit it in water up until the first leaf and just allow it to root. And once it roots, you put it in soil and this is what you get. This is what you get.
So, one of the things we talk about is, it may take a couple of years to produce any fruit, but even if it does not, you still end up with a nice plant that is, again, beneficial to you and the environment. And again, it doesn't cost you anything because you already paid for the pineapple.
That's right. And the benefits to you is just the success in watching it grow, something that you've planted and started from the beginning, and to see how it grows, and whether it produces fruit or not, it produces a lovely attraction to your indoor plants. And when the season changes, when it becomes spring and the possibility or threat of frost is over, I'll put those back outside and they become a part of the outdoor landscape. So.
And just while I'm talking about pineapples, just want to show you this because someone,
scoop that over.
Right, I was talking to someone the other day and they talked about how challenging it is for them to cut their pineapples. But this little tool right here is a pineapple core. You know what? You might want to consider getting one of these. You can get it from what? Amazon.
Got that from Amazon. Yeah,
Amazon. This makes coring your pineapple much easier. And again, you cut off the head or the crown, which again, as Coach Mitchell said, you can use that to plant with. And then you core the pineapple. And once you core and you pull it out, you get all your pineapple rings. Then you're left with the actual skin, and you could then carve out the flesh that's left, or you can use the entire thing to make your tea. Because you still have flesh, your tea will have a stronger pineapple taste. So again, because I know for me, one of the things that used to really bother me was trying to cut the pineapple. This makes it easier.
Right. And you can make a simple syrup out of the pineapple skin as well.
Yes.
Add a little honey or a little sugar and just reduce it, simmer it, reduce it, and you can add that to sweeten your tea.
Now, the other thing talked about again, about utilizing all of your produces, you might remember we talked about things like this, all right? This is just dehydrated fruit, or fruit skins or peels. I kind of save, a little bit of both. And then now the reason why I do that, one is to utilize the entire produce, but we kind of overlook the nutritional value that is in the peel. So whether it's pineapple peel, watermelon rind, orange peel, most of all fruit, the peel or the skin has more nutrients than the fruit itself. The reason for that is because the skin actually serves to protect the plant. So fruit, the way nature works is just amazing, adds more nutrients to it in order to serve as a protective mechanism. So we grow up, most of us, and we discard, the skin. What I encourage you to do is save it and utilize it. So here is where we just dehydrated it, saved it, and then we can add it to other dishes. So again, use for baking, smoothie, whatever you choose.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have been very impressed with our air fryer, which has a dehydration option, and we have been really impressed with what we can create from some of what we would normally call waste out of the fruit rinds and the vegetables that we have as a excess of the actual produce and the fruit.
So we're going to talk about some of the things that you want to acquire for 2024 once we're done, that will help you along the way. Now, I showed earlier, I shared with you sprouts. Now, unlike microgreens, which you need usually like a soil or the coconut uh, pad, you can grow microgreens in just a water hydroponically in just water. But whereas when you do sprouts, with sprouts, you can do with just water. So just want to show you something. Again, actually, let me
You need some sand as well.
what you want to do is, all right, and I don't know if we really went into growing sprouts, but if we did, just to recap, you get a mason jar, and all you want is on the top, you get a mason jar with the strainer at the top, and you'll just put your sprout seeds, and you can use the same seeds for the most part between sprouts and microgreens, but you put them in a jar, you let them soak. Now, again, with the microgreens, you let the coconut pad soak, and you could let the seeds soak as well. But here, you let the seeds soak, for a few hours. I usually do it overnight, and then you drain them, and then again, over a couple of days, you just basically rinse and drain, and you sit your jar.
There's the stand.
On a stand. You just basically sit it so it drains, over the course of the day, and then you repeat. Do this for several days, and depending on which sprouts you're using, it will actually grow, and then your jar will fill up. And like I said, you just repeat the process.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring over the actual entire setup so that everyone can see what it looks like, because we're saying stand, and it's like, okay, so where does it drain?
You might want to try the small stand.
So this is what it looks like, and it has a tray so that the drainage, it drains off into the tray. So I'm hoping that you can see this. So as Coach Darren already explained the process, you have a tray to capture the moisture and the drain off.
Yes. Now let me just admit, that tray was repurposed. That's not the tray that comes when you buy your little kit. The little kits usually just have an individual tray for each jar. And you don't even have to use the tray. You could really tilt, or the stand, you could tilt the jar inside of a bowl. I found it's just easier to have the tray and the stand. It's just easy to work with. But again, you can produce very nutritional, say vegetables to add to your diet at low cost. Now,
yes, Annie, you're absolutely right. It is, again, it's zero waste, and it's really going back to a more natural way, or I would say a more organic way of just growing, processing, and introducing healthier options into our diet.
So one of the things we didn't really cover in 2023, we will cover more in 2024. And part of that is because, I'm just learning how to do it. But here, what we have, and you might not be able to tell, again, using an old mason jar, different type of lid, but this is, fermentation. This is making sauerkraut. You could, make sauerkraut, you can do pickles, you can really ferment any vegetable that you want. Now, why do I share that? Because fermentation or fermented foods are healthy to the body. When you're eating yogurt, one of the reasons why you're eating yogurt is because it's the fermentation, which again helps the digestive system. But here, just take cabbage and just take cabbage and shred it up, stick it in the jar, put with a little salt, or put the cabbage in a bowl with a little salt, and then after you massage it, you take it, you stick it in the jar, and the thing that's most important, you can use regular mason jar tops, or you can buy fermentation tops. And again, inexpensive, and that creates an airtight seal, and you let it sit for several weeks or until it ferments to your taste. So it can go anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. But you make it, you set it aside, and move on to something else.
And I can tell you, this is better than store-bought sauerkraut. Oh my God, it is so good. I implore you to try it.
Yes.
I implore you to try
Now,
it.
the first batch I did, I just used salt. And the second batch, which is fermenting now, I actually added additional seasonings just to see how it works. So part of this is just experimenting. Uh, and again, it's also a way of reducing your food waste. Now, why I say that? Because if you see something that you're not going to consume, either dehydrate it, mhm, ferment it, or put it in your blender to juice. You know? It's unbelievable how much food we throw out. So these are just tips to how to reduce that. I hope to be able to learn how to do pickling, in 2024. Again, another way of just taking advantage of what's at our fingertips. All right.
All right, Coach.
Other thing is there. Want to share is we showed the seeds that you get from.
The light is
Yeah, just actually open it like a.
Can you see?
Yeah.
There we go.
We talked about seeds that we save from our produce that we eat, but you can also buy seeds. And you might want to buy seeds. Now to prepare for 2024 gardening, or if you want to do inside gardening. Most of these seeds can be used to grow microgreens, possibly, or sprouts. And again, just be willing to experiment. Some things will work and some things may not work, but you gotta have an open mind. One of the things that people tend to say, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm not a gardener. It's a learning process, and it's enjoyable, but it can be humbling because nature's going to do what nature's going to do.
Absolutely, and and especially in the spring, you have to contend with all of the new beginnings, right? The insects the eggs are hatching and they're looking for food. So the source are your vegetable garden, right? So you have to be willing to just repeat the process and be patient because, nature is going to be nature, right? And we don't want to eliminate the insects because some of them are really positive for your garden. They help. They're needed, right? So what I was holding up are some of the seeds, the actual seeds for the different vegetables that we're getting ready to plant come spring, which are like our radishes, our beets, our mixed greens that we got from the farmer supply store. And we will be doing not just planting in the spring, but we'll also be doing microgreens and sprouts from these seeds. And you can get them for about $2 for 2 ounces, 2 to 4 ounces of seed. So again, preparing now for our next.
So, one of our suggestions is just start saving your seeds. And people are like, oh, that's so time consuming. One of the things that will help is when you're saving your seeds, use it as a time to meditate. Use it as your Zen moment. Just be in the moment, plucking your seeds, scraping them off, and you'll find that again, you can utilize that time to be in a moment. Because you really have to, when you're taking the seeds, like I said, it can be time consuming depending on which produce you're working with or which fruit. So again, just take it as an opportunity to be in the moment, to be in the now.
Absolutely, and to connect with nature. And also, one of the things that I was able to do this season is to gift my brother and his wife who want to start gardening more, expanding their garden, and introducing more plants and different types of fruits and vegetables to the garden. I was able to gift them with I would say, a really large gift of different seeds, a variety of seeds, I should say, like fruit seeds, vegetable seeds, and flower seeds. And as we were talking, and he didn't know what I had, given him as a Christmas gift, he was talking about planting apple trees and pear trees. And in his gift bag, I had gifted him those exact seeds. So the bottom line, the moral of the story is harvesting your seeds as you go along is the gift that keeps on giving. Because
Yes.
once he plants that and it becomes established, he has an eternity or generations of seeds,
Yes.
fruit and produce and seeds to gift. So it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. I'm trying to think. I think we kind of did the recap. So, so going forward for 2024, I want you to kind of think about some of the uh, things that you can do for your health that you can do for free. For instance, you know what? Fasting. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. You know, intermittent fasting has become really popular. But I don't know if people have really grasped just how important that is for the healing of the body. So, you know, and on the I Am Well, we'll talk about fasting. On I Am Well, upcoming I Am Well session, we'll talk about fasting. But it's free. Uh, and you know, if you're not eating, it'll probably save you some money too. All right. So you got meditation. You know, is free. Inner work is free. Breath work is free. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with earthing, you know, or grounding. That's free. That's simply, you know, if you have a backyard, a garden, you know, access to a park, to a beach, any place where you can walk barefoot, you can ground. Uh, Again, any questions, feel free to reach out, but just Google it. You know, some people do forest bathing. That's, you know, again, I'll share with you. Uh, I have not done that. That's a little bit, you gotta be a little more open and free, the forest bathing, all right? Well, you can do, you know, say, just spending time in nature, all right? Again, in a park where there's a lot of green spaces, free. You know what? Rainwater. I know this is kind of, you know, out there, but you know, just actually, if you ever get the courage, that nudge, if it's raining, just to enjoy the rain. Mhm. Again, it's something about how our body responds to natural things. So again, something to consider. Um, you know, you can, you know, oh, playing in the soil, all right? And gardening, this comes with playing in soil and gardening. Also healthy, because again, you're in contact with the earth. You know, sunbathing, most of us like that. If you go to the beach, what do? You notice there's something about laying in the sun. Well, there's a purpose for that. First of all, we know we get the vitamin D, which is really the source for most of our vitamin D, which has so many health benefits to the body. And then you have things like kindness and gratitude. Those are the things that, again, you can practice, which also has health benefits. You know, and all the things I just listed, and which not all of them, they're free. You know, they say it's better to meditate before you medicate. So, what are some of the things that you might want to add to your, we'll say, uh, arsenal come 2024 if you don't already have them? Well, you definitely want to have a blender, a good blender, preferably, uh, maybe a juicer for those who like to juice. You know, you want an air fryer. You know, we just, you know, think that an air fryer, since we got one, is essential. Uh, and then you'll need things like mason jars and so forth. Uh, uh. So, as we mentioned, save some seeds. What do we have here? Yep. You want to develop, you know, morning routine. Practice, you know, getting your water in on a regular basis. Again, these are just free tips, and I'm just touching on them. We're going to cover more of them as we go through, you know, 2024. So, you know, we kind of shared a lot. Try to do a recap, and we'll again build on it as we go forward. Anything you want to throw in there, Coach Mitchell?
If you're done, I think I'm done, other than to say that, you know, for 2024, we want you to do more for yourself, more for your health, more for your community. We want you to release all the negativity so that the release can come to you throughout 2024. And we just hope to bring you more education, help empower you, and bring you knowledge about how you can incorporate healthier options into your lifestyle, not just from a food source, but from a mental, mind, body, and spiritual source.
Yes, Coach Mitchell, mentioned, about releasing, in 2023, the I Am Well platform, our mantra was 2023, reconnect me. It was all about reconnecting. And in 2024, I think we're going to go with, again, 2024, no more, more. All right? No more, more, which basically means no more of the negative, no more of the things that are holding us down. And that's also the food that we're consuming, the environment where we're spending our time, and more of the things that are going to lift us up. So again, no more in 2024. So again, we covered a lot. Again, just the tip of the iceberg. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Absolutely.
And just stay connected.
Absolutely. And remember, I'm Coach Mitchell.
And I'm Coach Darren.
Your health and wellness, your empowerment, encouragement, motivating coaches. If you don't start now, there can be no next. We will see you next year in 2024, where we will be bringing you more.